All right, this is a good assignment for coming back. You're going to use the I'll show you. You're going to use the template that I have on online GDB. So that's where you're going to code it. That's kind of it. It's a fun little thing. It's a simple battleship. We're only going to go after one boat, and I'll walk through the code that I have for you and kind of what's expected. So let's go through the assignment and look at a little bit of starter code and see how you guys are going to do. I know you do great. All right, see you on the next slide. All right, here's our assignment. It's the battleship simulation. You have to use the template provided in online GDB, okay? So that's just what we got to do. You're going to finish a simple Java game that simulates battleship style using a 2D integer array. So I'm building a 2D integer array, and you're going to see if you can hit something inside of my integer array. The ships are represented by the number 1 within the grid, and the user will try and guess its location. The program should provide feedback on whether the guess is a hit or a miss. I've already built a 10 by 10 integer grid to represent my ocean. This is provided. You must use this. The program should randomly place a ship. I did that for you. It's size 4 in the cells. It's usually, I think it's just row centered. The user will be promoted to enter a row and a column with coordinates 0 through 9 to guess the ship's location. The program should inform the user whether it's a hit if you got a correct guess or a miss, incorrect guess. So you're going to throw, I don't know, an 8 or something in there or another number besides a 1. You're going to check to see if you hit it. If you hit the thing, you can even populate it with a 1. It doesn't matter. If you hit it, then you got it. If you miss it, then you should put something in there that's a miss. So decide what you want for hits or misses. The game, but it must be integers because your grid is integers. The game continues until the user correctly guesses the ship's location. Ensure input validation to prevent out-of-bounds guesses. Don't let them guess between outside of 0 and 9. After a correct guess, display the message indicating success in the number of attempts taken. Now, here's the thing. There are 2 boards. One is called board and one is called game board. Game board is where you're going to display your hits or misses. I misspelled that, but your hits or misses. Use board to check for hit or miss. Okay, I'll explain that when we get to the code. You should be watching this homework helper. It says so right there. So here's what it's going to look like. Welcome to Battleship, and then it's going to print out the grid. Guess the location of the ship, and you're going to say, is it at 2 and 3, right? So all we're doing is we're asking the user, where do you think it is in this grid? And 0, 0 is the top corner, and then it goes 0 through 9 and 0 through 9. So if I think it's in 5 and 4, I'm going to say 5, 4. But I see I had 2, 3. It's a miss, try again. Then I print out the game board using 1s and 0s. Then enter a row and column. Miss again. And then I guessed it 4 and 1, and it was a hit. That should say 0 through 9. 4 and 1, and it was a hit. And then there's 3 more hits to go. See? So that's it. So let's go look at the starter code, and I'll talk you through a couple things, and you should be able to do this relatively quickly. Okay. After you use it, you could add things if you want to. You can place multiple ships randomly. I'll show you how I did mine. You can give the user unlimited limited number of attempts to try it. That's what we're at. So let's go look at the code. Okay, here's my main. I have a little ocean class, and this is where everything takes place. And you can add to this inside of you want to, because you're going to need to add to this. You don't have to have. You can add methods, functions, whatever you need to do inside of Ocean to make this happen. I don't want this main messy. If you need to add another class, add another class. I'm good with that too. It can, you can do that because everybody turned in their assignment on composition and everybody got really good grades because it looked really nice. So if you want to add a class, add a class. So let's go over to Ocean and take a look at what's going on. This is what you're going to be working with. I have give you a new scanner to enter stuff in. I have a random number. I made 2 arrays. I made one called board and one game board. They're both size 10 and they're both integers. You have a Boolean hit that's set to false, and you have rows and columns R and C. Those are integers. You can add to this. You're adding to this. These are just things that will get you started. But if you want to add to this, add to this. Knock yourself out. I'm good for that. Here's my ocean. my constructor. What does my constructor do? It builds the board grid, right? And it gives me my size of row and column. R gives me a random number. So this is going to build a board, right? So this is just going to put my ship in the board. First it populates numbers, and this is for board. Okay, I build board and I build game board. So I'm building two arrays, 10 by 10, two 10 by 10 matrix. In the lecture, we did a 3 by 3 for tic-tac-toe. Here we're doing 10 by 10, two of them. One is board and one is game board. I'm going to go into board and I'm going to get my row and column size. R is going to be a random number. R is just going to be a random next integer from row. So R is just going to go find a row and grab it. If R plus 4 is greater than the size of my rows, that just means I'm going out of bounds. So if I'm going to put a ship that's 4 cells big, I can't put it at the very end because it'll go out of bounds. So I just want to check that it doesn't happen. C equals R. For int, I is 0, 4. I'm just going to go board at R and C plus equals 1 is going to be a 1. So what I'm doing, I'm keeping R at the exact same spot. And then I'm just going column 1, 2, 3, right? So my first one, put, and then it's just going to extend out column. I'll show you. I have a method called show board, and I have a method called show ship. Now, show ship is going to be, you don't want to show ship because that would give the user, but I'm just going to show you what it does. So let's look at what our output is. So here's my board. This is show board. So this is the board that we play on. And then this is where the ship is. So the ship was put right there. So that ship is at index 1, 0, 1, 2. It's at 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, and 1, 5. If the user guesses, you're like, hey, welcome to Battleship. Guess a row and a column. And the user guesses 2, 2. Well, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. That's a miss. But if they guess 1, 2, that's a hit. And that's what you're going to do. The user is just, let's run it again and take a look at this. Beep. All right, I moved it over. Now it's over here, down one. Let's see if it moves it around a little bit more. Ooh, moved it over there a little bit. Moved it over there. So what you're going to do, ooh, now it's over on the edge. Okay, what you're going to do, my friends, is you're going to work with show board. That's going to be that's what you're going to show. That's what you're going to show the user. The user is going to see that. Show board. You're going to check inside of board to see if there's a hit. So if the user index has a 1, if the user guesses an index and it has a 1, you're going to say hit. And then if they get 4 hits, you're going to say you sunk my battleship. All right? Play as long, you can set up limits to play, all that stuff. But don't change this template, but add to it to make it work. So let's look at something really quick. So I have show board, right? So if they're in here and they have a guess, public void so here I'm just going to go into show board. It is called game board. Game board. So let's say they guessed 3 and 8. So they guessed 3 and 8. If 3 and 8 had a 1, it's a hit. If 3 and 8 does not have a 1, it's a miss. If it's a miss, I'm going to make it equal to a 5. If it's a hit, I'm going to make it equal to a 1. Now, all I'm going to do is check. So game board, they get game board, but I'm checking if board, I shouldn't really be doing this for you. but if you're paying attention. Let's go 3 and 8. Because this is what I want to check, right? I want to check the board because that's where the ship is. The ship is not in game board. Is the same as 1 Then I'm going to put it on game board. That's going to be my hit, else that's a miss. That's a miss, and then that is going, oh, this should be a 1 because it's a hit and not its thing. And then, yeah, else game board is 5 and 8. Miss. That should be fine. Good. We'll call it guess. Go to our main. Now, my guess is predetermined, right? I'm not letting the user do anything for it. But anyways, let's take a look. Run. Miss. Oh, I didn't print it out again. I'll just print it out again. I'll do it here. You can do it in your guessing method or whatever, wherever you want to print it. Just don't make the main all cluttery. All right, I miss because I guessed right here, and that was a miss. If I want to see where it is, miss. See, it's way up here. That's where I should be guessing. But I guess down here, so it's a miss. So I'd guess again, and guess again, and guess again. Guys, that's it. You can put this together. You're just checking indexes for 1s. If you have a 1, you're going to make it a hit. All right? Reach out if you need help. This is a good way to get back into it. I got your starter code all there. Add to it, but don't take from it. And if somebody turns something in that's not this starter code, you're just going to get to 0, and I'm going back to every one of your assignments, and I'm going to go through it, and if I find anything that doesn't fit what we've done, I'm going to 0 you out. All right. There you go. Grumpy old man. Okay. You're like, dude, chill. You're supposed to be relaxed. I am. All right. Here we go. Bye.